Stay tuned for my collection / display update video for 2018. Subscribe. Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. My name is, of course, Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. Now, as promised, I did say I would try and get a collection video out before the end of 2018, and it's here. This video is my collection / display update for 2018. A lot has changed since last year. I've brought a lot more things. It's been a great year for collecting. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Make sure you subscribe, and I hope you enjoy. Pow, so let's do this. This is my collection / display video for 2018. Now, the last time I did one of these, it was August 2017, so it's been way over a year. And if I throw up a quick comparison, you will see that the shelves have changed drastically as I've managed to display a lot more. I've obviously brought a lot more, managed to fill holes in the collection. And yeah, the shelves are looking packed. So without further ado, I'm just going to grab the camera freehand and go and show you these shelves up close. So this is the part of the living room that the girlfriend hates, but it's my house, so my rules. So yeah, let's do this. So as I said, I apologize for the shaky cam and the dodgy lights. This is basically just freehand, hardly any editing. Let's do this. So without further ado, top shelf, we have Ghost Rider, his articulated chain, some fiery effects, next to my only Mezco figure, which is the Mezco Punisher. Mezco is one of my favourite characters, and the figures from Mezco look great, but they're just so expensive, so he's my only one. Back there we have Magneto and his daughters. We have Perales and also Scarlet Witch. Hopefully we're getting an updated Scarlet Witch this year. And then maybe one of my favourite Marvel Legends, if not the favourite Marvel Legend in the collection, the Toy Biz Sentinel with his tentacles as well. The back there we have Giant Man. As we move across, we have some Thor Ragnarok figures with Ant-Man and the Wasp. We have obviously the Homecoming homemade suit Spider-Man with some custom webs there as well. Just made out of some bendy wire, I think I got off eBay. And then we have the tech suit Spider-Man, who just dangles above the rest of the crew here on the top shelf from the ceiling. And then as we move along, you will see Vision, Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Iron Spider, because these are mainly the Infinity War figures. I need to build some sort of Wakandan diorama to display these properly. But for now, this is where they live. And you can see I've added my own sort of custom arms to the Iron Spider, as Hasbro didn't give us any, unfortunately. I don't think it's Hasbro's fault. I don't think they were allowed to due to spoilers at the time, but it is a shame. And I don't think that suit looks complete without them. So I think these arms are from an eBay Iron Spider-Man from China or something like that. But the figures, these were mainly updates of versions we already had, as we already had a Scarlet Witch, we had a Thor. There's the first Teenage Groot and of a Rocket. And again, Proxima Midnight, Cull Obsidian, and the 3-pack Thanos. And next year we are getting Corvus Glaive and Ebony Maw, so we will get to complete that Black Order, which I'm very happy about. And then right at the back there, you'll see a Chitauri soldier. I think that's a Marvel Select. And then we have Anthony Mackie, aka Sam Wilson, aka Falcon. I really want to get an unmasked Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie head. But for now, this goggled face will do, and there are some fodder guns because it just doesn't look right with him flying without them. I'm very tempted to get the SH Figure Arts version of Falcon as well, as he is one of my favourite characters. Moving down, if you're familiar with the channel, you will be familiar with this shelf. This is my Iron Man shelf, my Hall of Armour, if you will. And again, it's just custom made out of foam. It's nothing amazing, but it does make the Iron Man display a lot more better. And we've added some new armors. So you will see the Hot Rod armor on Mark 1. I believe that's Mark 22, but don't quote me. And some more on the back there. They're not all MCU, but this is very much comic / MCU. My own amalgamation of the two. That is an SH Figure Arts Tony Stark, as it is the best sort of Tony Stark we have in figure form. There's probably one of the best Marvel Legends Iron Man, as the Mark 7 we've recently got in the 10th anniversary line. There's the Hulkbuster. We didn't get a Mark the second version of Hulkbuster from Infinity War in Marvel Legends form. Finally get Papa Potts, even though she's not wearing many clothes. She does look good on the display with Tony Stark. And then just for the time being, here we have the SH Figure Arts Hulk, which is definitely the best Hulk in 6-inch figure form, along with Steve Rogers and Natasha Romanoff. Now, obviously, this is this outfit from Winter Soldier, but it is the unmasked head from the 2-pack with Crossbones from this 10th anniversary line, which looks very good. And this is how he appears in the Endgame trailer. So maybe we'll get a figure just like that in the new year, who knows. But they're just there for the time being. I need to find a place for them. Moving down, we have the main MCU shelf. Now, I really do wish I had more room to display these properly. Maybe a Wakandan display or a Guardians of the Galaxy display. But for now, this is where they sit. This is mainly the hero side over here, the villains. So as you can see, mainly Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy. Some great figures here with Gamora, Nebula, Mantis. These are some of the figures from the second Black Panther wave that we recently got. Check out my review for reviews of all of these figures on the channel right now. We got some Avengers here as well at the front, Tom Holland. These are some great unmasked heads as well, Paul Rudd. And we also have Chadwick Boseman T'Challa as well, Tom Holland, an updated Tony Stark, even though I prefer my SH Figure Arts version, and then Steve Rogers. And yeah, we have one of the only Hawkeye Marvel Legends we have from the MCU. Hopefully we get an updated Ronan. Thor with some lightning effects. We got Hulk at the back there with Bruce Banner, hoping for an updated Bruce Banner. And then some hero slash villains, as we have, most of these are from the new 10th anniversary line, where we've got to fill a lot of gaps in the MCU villain collection. There we have another Shatari soldier at the back there with Hela, Ultron, Killmonger, some Hydra soldiers. Who thought we'd get an army builder from the MCU at the start of the year? I definitely didn't. There we have Crossbones, another one of my favourites, along with Killmonger and Claw, Trevor Slattery, Ronan and Yellow Jacket. Some much needed gaps in the collection. The first Avengers Loki. And then we have S.H.I.E.L.D. at the front here with Coulson, Nick Fury, Maria Hill, Everett Ross, and then we have the Netflix Defenders. I do have the box set from San Diego Comic-Con with Danny Rand and Colleen Wing, but I haven't got around to opening it yet. But it's a shame that Daredevil's now cancelled, Luke Cage is now cancelled. The only two that remain are Jessica Jones and Punisher, but we're all assuming that they will get cancelled after their new seasons on Netflix next year. Unfortunately, maybe we'll see life again on the Disney Plus streaming service. There we have Elektra with some ninjas, but these are not Marvel Legends. These are articulated icons. Very expensive to get in the UK, but they do look great. They are perfect with your Marvel Legends. I'm hoping Hasbro give us some hand soldiers very, very soon. Moving down to the sort of, I call it the Spider-Man Nightmare shelf. As you will notice, it is mainly Spider-Man villains, and we have a Spider-Man there losing his mind at the front, as I have Mysterio there, and I've just put some cotton wool in his bulb so it looks more white, but obviously Mysterio is going to be the villain in the new film. Now, if I try and change the lighting just while I do this video, as I don't want to annoy anyone, so I have a little remote here. So I'll change it just to white as I show off these figures. So obviously I have the Doc Ock, a great figure from this year, but unfortunately didn't have the tentacles that we wanted. So these are some custom tentacles. Again, I'm not a customizer, but all I've got is some USB wires, and sort of cut them up, glued them into the back there. And now I have some chrome looking tentacles for my Doc Ock. And again, Doc Ock, Mysterio, some of my favourite villains, look great there with their Green Goblin, Hobgoblin. I need to get some better displays, maybe turn this into some sort of street display or something. There we have our little symbiote crew over there, the Monster Venom. But yeah, this is just mainly Spider-Man villains. As let's be honest, maybe the only person that can challenge him for a rogue gallery is Batman from DC. But when it comes to Marvel characters, Spider-Man definitely has the best rogues gallery. Moving down to the shelf below, this is where I have tried to build some sort of diorama. Again, it's not perfect. I do need to get better with it. But it's where I've displayed some figures for the time being. We got Chameleon, and we have the new Taskmaster there with lots of money falling out of that safe. Under here, you can't see it very well at all. Maybe if I get my phone and show you some light. We have Scourge battling away there with Hammerhead, and there we have Cable. And yeah, again, I do need to do a better job at this diorama. There's Bullseye. It needs to be lit better, it needs to be painted more, but I was trying to build like a street diorama into the display where I could change up the scene every now and then, just for a bit of fun. And then again, if you've seen my channel before, you've seen this display before. It is my sort of raft inspired diorama with my shield agents and some villains. I did break it. It was longer than this, but it broke, unfortunately. But I did have lights in all of the cells as well, where you'd have the light. You'd have the light above the cells that would light up the cells, but obviously it's not working properly. But there are villains in all the cells. Even down here, we've got Abomination. And then in this one, we've got the Sasquatch. So yeah, there is my raft inspired diorama for Marvel Legends with some shield agents there. Again, just trying to bring a bit of life to the display, but I do need to work on it a little bit more. Just got to find the time. So yeah, there is the first shelf. A lot going on. Moving across to the second shelf. Again, sorry if I fall all over the place. I'm literally standing on my sofa. This top shelf, I don't show off a lot of this on my YouTube, but I do really like the WWE, mainly the Attitude Era, but I've started to get back into it recently, so I've picked up a few of my favourite figures. So I'm not going to go over this in drastic detail. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know. Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho. The list was one of the best. But yeah, then we've got the Shield, New Day, Dudley Boys. Some of my favourites over there, Kurt Angle, Hardys, the Brothers of Destruction. We've got Brock, Triple H, Stephanie, AJ, Finn Balor, Stone Cold. So yeah, there's just some figures on display. Again, not collecting those like crazy. I'm just picking up some of my favourite wrestlers and figures. Moving down to this shelf. Again, this shelf hasn't changed a lot over the years. We have updated Thanos in his throne. Again, custom made throne. We did get the new Thanos this year with the updated paint job and the Infinity Gauntlet. So that's who sits there now with some Ultron bots. We've got Doctor Doom. Hopefully we get a new Doctor Doom very soon as well. Mainly some Asgardians up here. But I need to get a better display. We've got some figures from the A-Force box set as well. We've got Black Knight. We've got Deadpool all over the place because we've got loads of Deadpools. We've got some of the Serpent Society as well. Hoping to get some more of those members. And some builder figures there at the back. Man-Thing, Dormammu. We've got some Mandroids, Death's Head, Onslaught. So yeah, these are just random figures I need to find a home for, and there's no tiering on this shelf, unfortunately, so they're all just sort of on the same level. Moving down though, we do have some tiering, and it is a more of an Avengers-esque shelf, if you will, but still not perfect. No lights on these shelves as well, so you can see that it's probably a little bit different in regards to lighting. So again, let me try and spin around here without falling over, which is probably going to be hard. Bear with me, sorry, I'm dragging a mic cable behind me. Okay, so there we have some Inhumans. I really like the look of the Inhuman Mezco figure that comes with a lockjaw. So I'm very tempted to get that lockjaw from Mezco when it does come out to go with these two. We've got some Hydra and AIM, some new Avengers going on there. When I was reading the comics, I've sort of stopped at the minute. Captain Marvel, it's all going to be about Captain Marvel next year. Then yeah, there's Captain Britain, Deathlock, probably one of the best comic Iron Man we got. Captain America. I've got loads of Daredevils, believe it or not, as well over here. I need to get rid of some, but there's like 3 Daredevils there. And then some other random figures there at the back. Sort of the Defenders box set. More street-based heroes and villains, if you will. Bit of a mix going on there. Nothing amazing, but yeah, they're all tiered and they all look pretty good on the display. Moving down, again, I need to get some lights for this one. This is mainly the X-Men display. So as you can see, very recently, before I filmed this video, I made some room, as next year we're getting loads of new X-Men and we're getting more Spider-Man characters. So I had to make some room on the display for more X-Men and Spider-Man characters. So obviously here's the Jim Lee style looking X-Men. We're getting an updated Beast next year. We're also getting a Gambit. We're getting a Jubilee, Professor X, hopefully a new Storm. There are going to be 2 X-Men waves next year, so still lots of figures to have. So hopefully I get to fill out some of these some more, but there are some great figures here. Too dark, you can't see them all. But yeah, Marvel Legends do a great job with X-Men. We've got Angel at the back there with Psylocke. I need to get some more multiple men. Only 1 multiple men in the collection so far. He's on his own, but I do want to get at least 2 more of them to display the different heads. Hopefully we get a different Colossus with his more classic outfit. There's Magic, some of the X-Force there, Domino, Cable, X-23. Yeah, these are looking good. Moving here, we have some of the Spider-Verse. Again, I don't go too crazy with the Spider-Verse. I'm mainly a fan of his villains. Peter Parker is the main Spider-Man for me, as I'm sure he is with you all. But there we have Peter Parker, Mary Jane, Spider-Pig. A lot of people like him. Spider-Ham, sorry. A lot of people like him now because of the Into the Spider-Verse film, which I thought was okay, but I think people are overhyping that. And there we have some more characters from the Spider-Verse, including SP//DR, aka Speeder, as it is the manga version of Spider-Man. But we don't have Peggy. Is it Peggy Parker? Or so I could be wrong, but I think we need a mini version of her to sort of control the spider that's in that mech bot. And we're getting an updated Black Cat as well soon. There's Prowler. Eddie Brock symbiote. We're getting another symbiote costume. Even I don't know why we need one, but yeah. There we have Gwenpool at the back there with Spider-Gwen, aka Spider-Ghost, they're calling her now. Silk as well. Spider-Man 99, Kane, Captain Britain / Spider-Man in Spider-Man UK. So yeah, I've made some room for more characters on both sections, but yeah, sort of Spider-Man, X-Men. Love the animated shows of both of these in the 90s. If it weren't for the Spider-Man and X-Men animated shows, they wouldn't be a display right now. This is where I fell in love with Marvel in the 90s with these two. Moving down, just some miscellaneous figures. We got the Riders here. I need to find room for these on the display. Another Ghost Rider. And one of my favourite Build-A-Figures of the last year at least is the Sauron Build-A-Figure from the Savage Land. He's so big, I need to find a room for him on the display. Here's some figures I haven't opened yet. I need to get out... I don't know why I haven't opened these. Maybe I planned to do reviews and never got around to it. But there we have the Ego 2-pack. Got Vulture and Spider-Man. We got the Phoenix 2-pack. I definitely need to open that and display that. I know that's very sought after. Then I've got some more Hydra agents. And I need to open the brown suit Wolverine. I did buy a whole wave of these carded that are in a cupboard somewhere. But I brought an extra Wolverine so I could add him to the display with that unmasked head. So maybe I'll open that on a live stream soon. But maybe I'll open all of these on a live stream soon. But for now, they sit on the display. And then on this last shelf, a lot of you may or may not know that my first love and one of my favourite TV shows is The Simpsons. So I do have tons of Simpsons figures as well. I've even got the Town Hall at the back there. And some of them still work as well. So you probably couldn't hear that, but he's saying, don't eat me. He has a wife and kids, eat them. So yeah, some of the Simpsons. Then there's 2 of my favourite creators in Simpson form. Of course, the Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons. I have him in figure form. And then, of course, the late, great Stan Lee. So, unfortunately, we're not getting a Marvel Legends Stan Lee anytime soon. Fingers crossed it will happen. But for the time being, at least I have Stan Lee Simpsonized for the display. So I have 2 of my favourite creators there in Simpson form. So I really like that. Moving on to this part here. I don't know if I'll get any lighting to show you. Hopefully I can. Sorry if the lighting's terrible again. But I've got some figures in packaging. So I apologise if I don't edit this video. But right, so figures in packaging down here are Silver Surfer. So I'm sure you can imagine what the rest are. Invisible Woman. Reed Richards. Maybe the best Marvel Legends of recent time. The Thing. So yeah, these are all figures in packaging. I've just not got around to opening. There we have Johnny Storm as well. So I have all of the Fantastic Four, but in packaging. So I actually need to find a decent place on the display for these. Then I also have some others. I've got the Groot exclusive. I've got, I think, Black Panther, symbiote version of Deadpool. So yeah, I need to find room on the display for all of these, but for the time being, they live down here until I can find, maybe get a big Galactus and build a display like that. But for now, the Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer and friends live down there. And then we have, again, I love DC as well, and this is the Batmobile, the RC car. So this actually lights up, it smokes, and yeah, goes great with my Mafex Batman. I want to build a diorama of a Batcave and have this on display with my Ben Affleck version of Batman that's going to come out from Mezco next year. So yeah, look out for that. But yeah, this is a beast of a figure. One of the best toys I have, to be fair, for an adult collector anyway. Then I've got an SH Figure Arts version of Iron Man. One of my favourite looking armours is the Mark V with the little briefcase. So I need to do a review of this. I can't get the box open to show you, but I need to do a review of this. So hopefully I do get around to doing it on the channel. So yeah, there it is, the Mark V with the Hall of Armour. Now, if I was a rich man, which I'm not, I feel very privileged to buy all the stuff I buy, but I budget and I work hard. But if I was a rich man, I would buy a ton more of those SH Figure Arts Spider-Man, Iron Man, sorry. And then here we have the giant Sentinel, which I've not reviewed and not even opened. So he does talk. So yeah, I don't need that Wolverine as much. I mainly got it for the Sentinel, but it won't beat the Toy Biz one. But this packaging is very nice, not going to lie. So yeah, they are there. So there you have it, people. I do have more figures in boxes, in the cupboard and whatnot, but these are the figures I have on display at the moment. So again, I'm curious to make another video in a year's time and see how the display changes. But before I finish, I will just show you a couple more figures I have on display somewhere else in the house, and then we shall call it a day. Now, I didn't get to show off this, but definitely didn't want to skip it. This was at the back of the top shelf, but as you can see, it is the Vulture with the builder vehicle wings, and you will notice I have an unmasked Michael Keaton head sculpt. Now, this is custom made from Pim Particles on Instagram, and look how good that looks. That looks like a mini Michael Keaton. It is perfect. I am so happy with this. One of my favourite figures in my whole collection, and I'm so glad I got it done. So thank you, Pim Particles, much appreciated. I don't know why Hasbro didn't give us one. I don't know if it was likeness rights or whatnot, as he did used to be Batman, let's be honest. But yeah, Hasbro didn't give us an unmasked head. And we do see a lot of him unmasked in the film, so I felt I had to get one done. And when I seen Pim Particles do one, I had to message him and say, please make another and send it me. And very thankful that he took the time to customize one for me. It looks great. So yeah, definitely one of my favorite pieces in my whole collection. And Michael Keaton version of Vulture. And just to wrap up, I thought I'd show you some other figures I have on display around the house. So I've got the Simpsons Lego sets of the house and the Quickie Mark at the top. Definitely need to find a better place to display these, as that is asking for trouble there at the top shelf, but I will get rid of them. And then here with my DVDs, we have the NECA Turtles. Again, some of my favourite figures in my collection. These are great, very nostalgic. As I grew up, Turtles was definitely one of my first loves as a kid. With the Simpsons, of course, there we have the main family. Moving down, tons of DVDs. They're the ones that matter, the MCU. But yeah, then we got some Simpsons figures. Moving down here, we've got, again, more nostalgic figures with Ash Ketchum, some Pokemon. And then I do have DC figures. As you can see here, we have Wonder Woman, Batman, Aquaman, and Superman. DC figures, I do love the DC films. Well, love's a strong word, but I don't dislike them. And they just don't do any good figures. So I have to get my SH Figure Arts and Mafex ones, as they do the best ones. And there we have some of the Suicide Squad and an SH Figure Arts Batman. So again, I wish there was a version of Marvel Legends for DC, but let's be honest, the multiverse figures are just not that good. So you have to spend that little bit more and get the imports. But these imports are amazing, let's be honest. I'd buy more if I could, but again, very expensive. And then on the bottom shelf, I've got a few random figures. There's some Arrowverse. Again, you probably can't see, the lighting's all probably terrible. A few Arrowverse, and then just a few Star Wars. Now again, if you've watched my live stream recently, you know that I was curious of the Star Wars figures, so I brought up my first Black Series figures. We got R2-D2 and Luke Skywalker there from Tatooine, some Sand Troopers, and then we got Darth Maul, just because I love the character design. And then I picked up a Kylo Ren because he was super cheap. That's the only reason why. He was super cheap. He was cheaper than a McDonald's, let's just say that. He was super cheap. But yeah, and then loads of figures at the bottom. So on the bottom here, I don't know if you can see, it's too dark, but more Simpson figures. So yeah, lots and lots of Simpson figures scattered around the house. But yeah, that's just my, please don't touch, that's just another random bit on my display. Oh, I forgot to say, there's It the Clown. So there we have it. That was my collection / display update for 2018. As I said, a lot has changed since last year, as it's been a great year for collecting, and I've managed to get a lot more on the display. As earlier on in the year, I had to throw away over 200 empty Marvel Legend boxes, as I just didn't see the point of hoarding anymore. But I've got a whole video talking about that on the videos tab. So as I said, if you're new to the channel, make sure you check out the videos tab, as there are over 250 reviews and news and everything Marvel Legend figure related on the channel, and I occasionally throw in a few other things every now and then. So obviously I don't plan on slowing down in 2019. Lots of good things to come on the channel, plus my top 10 of 2018 is still to come. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, help this tiny little channel grow. And as always, people, my name is Dan W, and I shall see you on the next one.